Okay, hi there guys, I am Ville and this is Monster Hunter World, and I thought that I would make a little lance tutorial. I finally made it to high rank, so I thought that okay, I'm gonna do a little tutorial on how to actually use this weapon. And this is kind of maybe a little bit misunderstood weapon. Like, I started playing Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii, and this was the first weapon that I kind of picked, and I thought that oh my god, it looks so cool because you have this huge ass lance here and you have a huge ass shield. But then when I tried it, it was like oh my god, it's so slow, and then I didn't use it at all. I used the sword and shield, I used the hammer and whatever because they're quicker, but then I saw one guy using the lance, and he was just blocking all the attacks the monsters made, and I was like, oh my god, that's pretty fucking cool. So then I tried it again, and I ended up playing through the whole game with the lance. And I've used other weapons, after that, but in this game, I went back to the basics. I went back to the freaking lance. So let's delve more into this weapon and all the different moves you can do and tactics and whatever. So this is kind of like a basic tutorial on this weapon. So the first thing to note is that yeah, you move around slowly, but that's not the point, because this weapon is not like the other weapons. With all the other weapons, okay, some of them can block, but this weapon has the best block in the game. So the whole strategy is that you can take the hits. If the monster charges at you, put your shield up, take the hit. If they start thrashing about, take the hit. Whatever, you just freaking block everything. That is the beauty of the lance. When everyone else is running away, you just put your shield up and you take the goddamn hit. And after that you start comboing. So that is the whole idea behind the lance. And that ties in with the armor skill. You can have all sorts of different armor skills, but guard, this is the one. This is the lancer's most important skill, because you will be blocking a lot. So the more points you have in this guard skill, the less the monsters are gonna knock you back. So you're just gonna stand your guard basically. And the less you're gonna lose stamina with each block. So this is definitely the skill to use for lancing. You can have other skills. I have defense here, whatever. Recovery up. Marathon runner, this is good for a lancer because when you're charging, you're running with the lance, then you're gonna be using less stamina. So this is actually good, but this is the only skill that you want to have. All the other skills you can do whatever you want, but get some guard. And in low rank, it's the Barth Helm and it's the Bond Coil that give you guard skills. So these two. So yeah, guarding is the most important skill the Lancer has. And after that, just start poking the monster, doing some damage, sidestepping, then you put your shield up, then you take another blow, and then rinse and repeat. So that's the strategy with the lance. And let's go to the moves. And you have like two basic moves, which are the mid thrust, like horizontal strike, and then you have the high thrust. And as you can see here, 25, 25, 34, okay? 28, 28, 34. So the last strike, you can do like a 3-hit combo with the lance. And the last strike is gonna do more damage than the other ones. And you can mix and match them. But if you want to maximize damage, then you want to use the high thrust, because that does a little bit more damage. 28 here versus 25. So if you're close enough to the monster, then use your high thrust, because that does more damage. Okay, to this barrel it's like minimal 1 point separation, but yeah, high thrust, that's the one you want to be using. And in general, the monsters have like their tails hanging up in the air, they have their wings, sometimes they're floating around, you know, above you. So the high thrust is the kind of best basic weapon of the Lancer. You can cut tails, you can bash heads with this one, you can destroy wings with this one, all sorts of things. You can hit monsters when they're flying above you, so high thrust always if you can. But sometimes of course you have to, when the monster is far away, then you have to do a horizontal strike so you can get closer and hit it and then maybe do high thrust. But yeah, high thrust does more damage than the mid thrust. Okay, and you can mix these together however you want, but you can only do 3 in a row. After that you have to do an evade, so just press X or press to the side and X. So you have to do an evade, and then after that you can continue the combo. So let's see here, 1, 2, 3, back hop, 1, 2, 3, sidestep, 1, 2, back, 1, 2, side, 1, 2, back, and so on. That is the way to combo with the lance. And so that's the basic kind of combo thing that you will be doing with this one. And then of course, you know, you have to pay attention to what the monster is doing. So maybe get some hits in, back hop, then put your shield up, then do some more strikes, back hop, shield up, bam, take a hit, few strikes, go to the side, maybe shield up, do a few strikes, etc. That's the thing. If you have like free room, get some hits in, and then do an evade, and then put your freaking block up. So that's what you will be doing with this weapon. Okay, and speaking of blocking, the next move is this sort of guard thrust. So you have your guard up, and then you press triangle, bam. You do like a little poke. You can't combo out of this one. It's only one move, and then you go back to guarding. So, but the genius of this one is that you can still move a little bit when you're guarding. So the whole point is when the monster's going mad or they're up in the air or whatever, you have your guard up, and then you do a little damage, and then you keep your shield up, do a little poke, but you're still keeping your shield up immediately. So you will be shielded when the monster is trying to attack you. So this is kind of like playing it safe. When you know that there's not enough time to get like a real combo going on, then you just go for the jab. And that works just fine. Okay. And then you have this wide sweep. Let's see what the jab does damage, by the way. 24. So it's basically the same kind of damage that the horizontal strike does. So, but it's only that you can't combo that. Okay. And then we have the wide sweep, and this also does. Okay, that's 14 damage. That's 24. So the tip seems to do more damage than the fatter part of the lance. Okay, that's good to know. So wide sweep, this is for clearing if you have a lot of these freaking smaller monsters, then you can hit many at a time. This is basically what this is for. Like, you're not gonna do more damage with this system, but if you have a lot of smaller monsters around you, then you can swipe at many at the same time, and you can combo this one too. So let's see here, wide sweep, horizontal, wide sweep. So you can do a 3-part combo with this one too. Wide sweep, high thrust, wide sweep. So if you have small monsters, then just clear the area, but this doesn't seem to be doing like multiple hits of damage. It can hit multiple enemies, but it can't do multiple hits of damage. So it doesn't matter that if you have a big monster, then you can't do like a ching ching ching, like a chain attack with this one. So I would just be using this, you know, high thrust instead. That's faster to do than this. Is kind of like a slow. Even though you can combo from this wide sweep, then it's kind of like a slow move to use. So I wouldn't use that for like big monsters at all. But that's the wide sweep. And then we have some more moves. We have the counter thrust, which is basically you putting your shield up, and then when the monster strikes you, then you counter attack. And this needs good timing, that you can anticipate when the monster is first striking you, so you can get that counter strike in. And that can be tricky to get the timing right, which means that you are gonna get hurt with this move every now and then. I don't really use this a lot because the timing can go, you know, totally wrong. And if you let it go all the way, well, it does 50 damage, like you can see. So that's pretty good, but it takes a long time to get there. So in that time that you're loading, you could be getting like 3 normal strikes in, and that, you know, that damage is over that 50 total. 28, 28, 34, 34. So you're basically you have like, this is like 2 strikes, this one charge attack. So this is not something that you want to be doing if you're trying to go for maximum damage. So don't do this wind up thing, but you can do this kind of thing if you release the guard button. If you hold it down, then, you know, your guy holds the shield up and does the wind up thing. But if you let go of the guard button immediately, then it's like it's a fast strike. So this is something that you can do. You just do the freaking counter thrust, quickly let go of the guard button, counter thrust, bam, bam, bam. So this is one way to do a chain combo too. Whatever works for you. Personally, I like using just the evade. Although the benefit of this counter thrust thing is that you're not losing stamina. If you're doing evades, then you're losing a little bit of stamina, but it's nothing too substantial. But like you can see, if I'm doing this one, then you're getting your stamina back already in the time that it takes you to do the combo, so it's not a problem. But yeah, that's the other way to do these chain combos. Do the counter thrust and then bam, 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 etc. Okay, so that works too. And then we get to the movement parts. So we have gone through the mid thrust, we have gone through the high thrust, wide sweep, guard poke, and the counter thrust. But we still have 2 things here to go for, and these are the movement options. Like I said, this weapon is a slow walker, and that is kind of like, that is kind of realistic from the balance standpoint. You have a huge freaking lance and you have a huge freaking shield, so obviously it makes sense that you can't move so easily. But there are a few things that you can do to move faster. So when you have this guard thing going on here, and you can do the guard poke, you can actually, if you press forward and you press triangle, you can do like a guard dash. And then you can do a shield bash, you know, at the end of that too. And I'm not sure, well, 17 damage, that's not too huge, and I'm not sure if that actually does like stun damage. but because it's tied to this move, then that's not really like anything to write home about. If you have one stun move and you have to do this freaking dash every time you do it, then it's not very convenient. But there's another move that you can do. You can press circle while you're dashing, and that turns it into a leaping thrust, and that is exactly the way to travel. So you can just go forward and you can chain it with another guard dash. So you can do this sort of freaking jumping motion pretty easily, and that's gonna get you enough distance to the monster. So let's say that you are here, the monster is here, and you block, bam bam bam, and he runs over you, bam, and then he stops there where the barrel is behind you, and you gotta get there quickly. And you can't go by walking because it's so far away. Then the thing is, you turn around and you try to start dashing there, and you can get a few hits in when you reach it. So this is like surprisingly convenient. Like so many times when the monster just goes over you, then you see, okay, I can get there with a few freaking dashes. And then you can get there, you can get a hit. So that's very good. And as you can see, this actually does multiple points of damage, so 10 10 10, as you can see there. So this actually goes through the monster, and that's pretty cool. Leaping thrust. So definitely use this when you need to close the distance to the monster, and then back hop, put your shield up. Then if they run over you, then just go there again, leap thrust, bam bam bam, same thing, guard up, and so on. But that's very handy. That is surprisingly handy. Like the dash by itself, well, it's kind of meh, but this sort of leaping thrust at the end of it, then it kind of doubles the reach of that. So it's super handy. And the dash itself actually blocks damage. When you're dashing, you can dash through a monster's, like you can see, you can dash through a monster's attack. But it's the same thing that you have to be careful with the timing. Bam, you block it. You have to be careful with the timing that, you know, you actually get it right. So yeah, but you can run at the monster when the monster is rampaging at you. Then you do this sort of move, and hopefully you're gonna block the attack. But sometimes it might not go so right. So my personal strategy is to just hold your shield up and let them come at you, and then when they're behind you, then you just go after them and get a few hits in. So that's my strategy. So that is the first way to travel, and the second way to travel is basically the charge thing, or what is it called? Dash attack. Dash attack, and after that there's the power guard. So let's take that as the last thing. So if you have your shield up and you press triangle and circle, you start dashing, and as you get like a little distance, then you get more speed too, and this does like multiple points of damage. So if your sharpness is good enough, like in low rank you have green sharpness, then you're gonna do multiple hits of damage, like ding 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 ding, like you can see. And I'm not sure, like in the older versions at least, if you charge at a player, then you're gonna knock them over. So be careful with this one, that you don't freaking knock anyone over, because that's not good. But this is super handy when the monster is trying to run away. So the monster goes over you and they start limping away or whatever, then this is the thing to do. You put this dash and ding 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 ding, you do damage to them. And you can actually change, change like 180 direction, push downwards and X, and you can change like to the opposite direction. And you can also jump with this one. So you start and you press forward and X. You can actually jump and keep on going, advancing jump. So that is one thing. And then of course you can do a jump attack. So jump, jump and thrust. And as you can see, it does something like, was it 30 and 40 damage, like two hits. Let's see, 31, 38. So two points of damage from the jumping thrust. But what is actually better is that when you're dashing, you can press the triangle button to do a finishing thrust. 63. There you go. And it's the friggin' tip of the lance doing that. 63. That's good damage. But it's even better when you get a little speed. So let's go here. Let's turn around. Bam. You get a little speed and suddenly it turns into finishing twin thrust. So the lancer actually does two little jabs with the lance. So you double the damage, and this is what's gonna happen if a monster runs away. Then, you know, 33, 66. So that's the way to go. If the monster runs away, then you're gonna get a little distance there, and then you can do the twin thrust to jab at them. So that's pretty good. Good to know that when you get to them and you're bam bam bam, you go through them and you do multiple strikes with your lance, and then to top it off you press triangle and then you do like a final two thrusts at them. So that's definitely the way to go. Bam bam bam. Yeah, of course the monster is gonna be bigger, so you're gonna get all those hits in. But you can also do like a sidestep to the right or the left, although this eats at your stamina. If you look at the stamina bar, then this totally eats your stamina, so be careful with the evades. That don't go too crazy with them, because you can aim the dash with your control stick to the left or right, so you don't have to be doing evades that much anyway. But yeah, that's the way to do that. But dash, going backwards, going to the side, jumping, going backwards, whatever, and then doing a little final double thrust. That's what the dash is all about. Chasing monsters. Yes. So yeah, those have been the moves so far, and there's only one move left, and that is the power guard. So when you do the counter thrust, if when doing this you press X, you do a power guard, which is basically like a super guard. Let's see here what the game says. Play guide. Or is it in Hunter's notes? I'm not sure where it was. Weapon controls, lance. Okay, here it is. So first the counter thrust. Blocking attack while your shield is up will result in an automatic counter attack. Okay. Power guard. So your stamina will deplete as long as your shield is ready. Yes, your stamina will go down very quickly. That is the really bad thing about this power guard. But stun time from guarding will be greatly reduced until your stamina runs out, allowing you to swiftly counterattack. So it's basically saying that you're gonna do like a faster counter attack after that. So when the monster hits you, okay, let's test it out. Okay, so that's what it means basically. It means that you can more instantly counter attack after that. Or that's what I think it means. That the stun time will be shortened. But I don't think like what is the like real life benefit of that? If you take a hit and then, well, you can continue after that. So I don't know. Is there really like a real freaking benefit to that or not? You can do out of this. You can do a leaping thrust, or you can start a freaking dash attack out of that, or you can do the counter thrust. But your stamina goes down really fast. It's basically draining your stamina, so at this point in low rank I do not see the point. Why would you put your freaking power guard down? It just drains all your stamina. I don't understand that, so that you can attack a millisecond faster after the enemy hits you. I don't see the point. I don't see the point at all. If you just have your guard up, bam, and then you start attacking, then it's like, it's still pretty quick. So I personally do not understand what is the point of this power guard. Maybe it will help some, you know, high rank monsters, they hit harder or something, I don't know, but I have to do more kind of work on that. But yeah, I don't see the point, because you can just block. This is way easier. If you do this, you have to do like you have to do first this freaking counter thrust, then you have to do the power guard, then blam, then you have to do a move out of that, and you have lost, you know, so much stamina. It just doesn't make any sense. The basic block is the easiest one. You just block the attack and then you attack yourself after that. That is the easiest way with the lance. But yeah, that has been my little lance tutorial. So if you have any questions or comments or whatever, then, and this has been like low rank stuff so far. I have my gear on here and everything. And let's see what changes in high rank. But yeah, high thrust is the way to go. Get those tails, get those wings, get those faces. Everything that you can, and if a monster is up in the air and you can reach, then definitely freaking poke at them, try to bring them down. And just the basic block works very nicely. And then when the monster goes over you, then just turn around, dash, leap, and there you are. You're at freaking attack range again. And then when they start running away, then you just charge at them. And bam, 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 get some hits and do the double friggin' strike and harass them. Try not to let them get away. So that's the lance in a nutshell. But it's really good when everyone else is running away from the friggin' monster and you're just standing there and taking all the hits in. So there's something very satisfying about that. That you can just stay there and take everything in and just block every hit. So there might be some, like in previous games, some of the like crazier monsters have some unavoidable crazy strikes that you cannot block without certain like armor skill, which was like guard boost in the previous games. I don't know if that exists in this game, but so far I've been able to block everything the monsters have been throwing at me. So let's see. But yeah, that is the lance tutorial, and let me know if you have comments or questions or whatever. But that was that, and see you next time. And gotta do a little prance at the end, yes. Okay, and yeah, it's a great game, so definitely go buy it and have fun, guys. See you next time. Bye. Yes.